Tuesday marked the 6 months since Hurricane Maria's landfall on the southeastern coast of Puerto Rico. The Category 4 storm knocked out power to the whole island and caused widespread damage, leading to one of the most expensive and logistically difficult recovery efforts in U.S. history. David Begnaud visited the island for an update on where things stand now. Good morning, David.
Good morning, Anthony. We started our journey by reaching out to followers on social media to ask what were the must-see spots. Based on those responses, we set out from San Juan to document the good that's been done and the deplorable conditions that still exist. Over 35 hours, we made it to 7 municipalities and got a pretty good sense of what life is like on the island right now. We started in Caguas. Driving through Caguas, we were told that locals are starting to don reflective vests and direct traffic because most of the traffic lights are not working. This guy's an example, we're told, just helping out.
His name is William Cotto. He's been directing traffic here since November. Even the police officers stop and follow his directions, and the drivers tip him. From here, we headed to Las Piedras. A woman reached out to us on social media and said, "You've got to see what conditions my bedridden father has been living in for the last 6 months." Hello, I'm David. Nice to meet you. We met the Santana sisters, who introduced us to their 90-year-old father, Guillermo, who's been in this bed for 3 years and with no electricity for 6 months. Ooh, he feels warm to the touch. On this day, there wasn't much of a breeze. Mr. Santana felt damp. His breathing was labored. The day before we arrived, someone brought a solar panel system that allows them to have the light we have in the room, allows them to operate this respiratory machine. You must have been really happy when they brought this.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course we are, yeah. So grateful for the response.
Yeah.
More or less we're surviving, but it's not easy.
95% of the electrical customers in Puerto Rico have power, but 93,000 people still do not.
Colonel? Hey, David. Welcome back to Puerto Rico.
Thank you. We met Colonel Jason Kirk in the capital of San Juan. He's leading the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, which is helping the Puerto Rican Power Authority restore electricity. You're here at the request of FEMA,
right,
operating under the authority of the Stafford Act.
That's right.
What does the Stafford Act prevent you from doing?
The Stafford Act is for emergency response.
You can't do what?
PREPA's grid had aluminum transmission towers. I cannot put galvanized steel instead of aluminum.
Under the Stafford Act, you can repair and replace,
in kind,
but you can't upgrade.
That's almost always the case.
The next day, we traveled to Jabucoa, where the hurricane made landfall with 155-mile-per-hour winds. More than half of the 38,000 people who live here still do not have electricity, and desperation has a hold on them. The mayor told us a few days ago a local man took his life, a man in his 60s. He lived at this blue house right here. Apparently the same day he was found hanging from a tree, the same day, power was restored to his house. A suicide prevention hotline center near San Juan reports that the number of suicide-related calls to the hotline more than doubled from August to January. From Jabucoa, we headed west to the mountains of Utuado, where thousands of people like Adim Heratia still do not have power or water. Did you ever think about leaving?
Puerto Rico?
Yeah.
No.
No.
This is my island. I can leave it.
After Maria, the bridge in Utuado was wiped out. Some locals were stuck for nearly 6 months. But a week ago, a new bridge opened. Our last stop was Humacao. By the light of day, it looks like paradise. But it's a living hell if you ask the people who live here. Driving through Humacao, we saw Alyssa and her husband on the side of the road with buckets. They come here to this faucet to get water because they don't have it where they live, and they haven't had it for 6 months. From there, we went to meet Luis Orlando. He wanted us to know about the problem people on the island are having getting insurance companies to pay them a fair amount, or pay them at all.
The water was up to here.
Orlando lives in a $98,000 home that an insurance adjuster estimated had about $38,000 in damage. You know what his insurance company offered him? $8,000.
I had to make a quick decision because at the time I had my family over there in New Jersey, and I needed to bring them down here, and I needed the money.
So you accepted the $8,000?
I did.
Wow.
I was forced to accept it, let's put it that way.
At least 40,000 people have left the island since the storm, and it's unclear how many have returned.
Flight was canceled. The airport
Jamie
was
and
still
Lisa Amos are two of the evacuees who came back to give back. Water filters, solar lights, and their time.
For some reason, it seems like in the traditional U.S. culture, it's if I have, I should prepare for tomorrow. But here in Puerto Rico, one of the things that's so beautiful is that people who have share. And it seems appropriate that if we are here and we are living here amongst the people, that we can share with what we have. So we're bringing in what we can.
So, David, a lot of people helping each other down there. Some good things happening, but slowly.
Yeah, slowly. But look, here's the good news. The shelves at the supermarket are stocked. No more lines to get gas or at the bank. Yep. Overall crime down about 20%. However, murders just since January 1st, an alarming spike, the governor says, 150 already.
Incredible. You know, you looked at Humacao and you saw those power lines down. Some people would say, why not just bury them? They need to be replaced anyway. Get rid of them.
You know, it's interesting. The Army Corps colonel said his dad asked him that. Son, why not just build it underground? And he said, here's the reason. Number one, we don't have the authority because we can only do emergency repairs. Number two, if we did that, it might take us 2 years or more to get the lights back on.
And it's very interesting, the point that you make in the piece about FEMA, that they can, I mean, or about the military down there, that they can repair in place, but they can't upgrade. They have an opportunity to now, but they can't.
Bingo. And they said to us, the grid is not going to be stronger or better than it was for the next hurricane season, but we at least hope to have repaired everything that needed to be when the season starts June 1st.
3 months away. Hard to believe.
Bingo.
All right. David Begnaud, thank you for joining us.